Mike Steph is here. As promised, I told y'all I was going to come back immediately after the Knicks win or lose. I don't duck the smoke. And yes, I'm here, unfortunately, after a Knicks loss in game 3 of the NBA Finals. 115, 111, the Spurs won. Um, our 13 game winning streak in the playoffs is now over. Can we talk about the blank element of it all? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Trust and believe, because I really believe that had a large reason of why the vibes were funny, the vibes were off. Let me tell you this before I get into my thoughts on this game 3 loss, because I reside in the city of New York. I reside in the borough of Brooklyn. I reside in the area of Crown Heights. And I was out and about all day long. And there was a different feeling in the air. There was a different electricity in the air. Yes. We knew we was gonna, it was gonna be game 3, first home game, first game in the NBA Finals in New York, in MSG, in over 25 years, 27 years intact, whatever. You know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, but there was a different feeling. There was a different feeling. But I'll get into that in a little bit. This game started off with the Spurs going up, I think, 7-zip. And our problem from the outset, from the onset, was this. Where was the defense? Where was the defense? You tell me, where was the defense? There was multiple times, I think, the first 3 to 4 possessions, Wemby was getting in the post, tips, slams. We had everybody was in the paint, like, scot free. Like, where was the defense? It seemed like there was miscommunication on the defensive end from the jump. Offensively, I'm not saying we had to make Cat the hub as we had throughout this whole 13 game run, but there was no semblance of an offense. Even the run that we had, the 42-point second quarter, which is a Knicks finals record, even the 42 points we had was process of elimination. Wemby was out and we was able to move, spray the ball. Cat, it's almost like Mike Brown did not. No, I don't want Trump to come to game 4 at all. Listen, I'm really going to try not to be out my character right now, but I am a man of the people. So if y'all ask a question, I'm darn sure going to answer. Forgive me. That cocksucker is the reason why we lost. That cocksucker is the reason why the vibe was off. The fact that ESPN, ABC didn't even have the cojones to act like he wasn't there. During the national anthem, you have to have a scene, have to have a shot of Trump. Really? Really? Also, yeah, bye. Also, the fact that, unfortunately, he's there at the request of our owner. That's something that I did not want to have in the forefront of my mind at all. I ain't gonna lie. Because if you really want to get into the minutia of all this, and I'm going to try to keep it to sports right now, but if you want to really get in the minutia of all this, all these sports entities have their hand in the same pot of the reason why gas is $6 a gallon of milk is $8 a gallon, a carton of eggs, the whole nine. But sports is supposed to be our escape from reality for whether 2.5 hours, 3 hours, so forth. We're supposed to immerse ourselves into the event itself. So when this mother effer comes in and makes it about him. Like, have you been going to playoff games? But no, you want to come to the finals. Anyway, I'll get into that later, more in depth. But from the onset, the Knicks were discombobulated. It's almost like the amount of pressure that was building up over the weekend just manifested itself on the court. We're the ones that came out tight. They're the ones that came out loose. We're the ones that were playing from behind again. We were the ones that were playing 5 against 8. And I'm really going to try not to make this a pile on the referees, but there's no way Stephon Castle can run over Jalen Brunson like a locomotive. And there's no foul. No flagrant. No foul. But Josh Hart gets ran over by Cornette, gets up, gives him a little push. Tech. Are you kidding me? Wemby pretty much knocks Jalen Brunson's bobblehead off his neck. No foul, no call. And he's laughing about it like, got these niggas on I got them under the arm. Like, come on. But with all that being said, we were still up 7 points in the second half. I mean, at halftime. We was up 7 points at halftime after a phenomenal first half. Well, a phenomenal second quarter. But then we came out in the third quarter, and it was almost reminiscent of old Knicks. The third quarter of doom. It was almost reminiscent of that. We didn't come out with the right intensity. We didn't come out to, much respect to Knicks fans, we got ourselves a series. If you guys win game 4, the series is over. Okay. Salute. Brian, the Spurs fan, 210. Listen. My thing is, I have no lack of respect for the Spurs as an organization, as a crew, as a label, the whole nine. Tell you the truth, y'all have some gritty players. Y'all have a, dare I say, generational player in Wembanyama. But I also agree with K. Matthew Ski Solo that the Spurs are Basuda. The Spurs are Basuda. Puh. I spit on the Spurs. Because, look at it this way. In the second half, how many times did they go to the free throw line as opposed to us? Just conveniently when they came out the half down by 7? I think this is the first time that they've been at a deficit in the first half. So the second half, now they get 22 foul shots to us, to our 4. So you mean to tell me the aggressiveness, we're so aggressive, even though literally in this series, I had to ask my bro, like, yo, when did hand checking get back in style? I believe hand checking hasn't been in style since the master of the hand check, Derek Harper, was doing it back in the 90s. But you got Stephon Castle hand checking our dudes. You got them beating everybody up, and we getting no calls. And then I see the boys on inside the NBA talking about, yo, Mike Brown was wrong because he put it out there like, yo, with the discrepancy. Other people was like, well, we was getting the whistle in the first half. Worry? Were we getting the whistles of where it mattered? Or did we just get the whistles of, oh, let's just throw them off the scent and put them on the line? Like I said, conveniently, we're down 7. We're up 7 with the momentum, with the Garden rocking, and all of a sudden, now, all of a sudden, they took Mikal Bridges out the game. 2 early fouls in the first quarter. The first 3 minutes of the first quarter, they took Mikal Bridges out the game. That's the third consecutive game in which one of our starting 5, one of our defensive stalwarts, have been effectively taken out the game to 2 quick fouls. Hart was taking out the game in game one when he had like 3 fouls in the first half. Then this game, Mikal Bridges is the one that's coming off the hot streak. You know what? Got to put him on ice. Clarkson nervous. You know, I can't agree with that. If anything, you could chalk it up to maybe a little bit of rust to a certain degree because he hasn't really been in the rotation. But without Clarkson in this game, maybe we would not have stayed close enough in the first half to go on that run. He was a big part of that run. Clarkson came into this game and he played D. He shot some unbelievable threes. He played, listen, was his ball handling up to par? No. But like I said, I believe that was him having lack of playing action. I kind of felt that while Shaman we rode Shaman for the longevity, for the duration of this winning streak that we had, Shaman didn't have it tonight. So I believe a lot of those minutes that Shaman had, Clarkson should have had this game because Clarkson showed that he was able to get his own shot. Without Josh Hart dropping 3-4 threes and making them pay in the first half, where would we be? Here's another thing too. Yeah, he made those shots. That's what I'm saying. So at least he knows he can go to Clarkson, and maybe he needs to get Clarkson back in the rotation a little bit. You know who, unfortunately, who didn't give us quality minutes in his time on the court? Deuce. And I love Deuce. Deuce came from nothing. Deuce got it out the mud. But Deuce, he didn't give us anything defensively and offensively. There was a couple of shots, and I'm like, dude, listen, if you're not set, we don't need you doing those fall-away three-pointers right now. You're not in a position. You don't got the high hand. We don't need no heat check from you right now. Benjamin Franklin. Brunson is why y'all lost. Elaborate on that, and I'll answer you. Elaborate on that. Do you believe Brunson's the reason why we lost because 11-25? Okay. Was he efficient in his shots? No, he wasn't. 32 points, but 32-point turnovers and bad decisions. Okay, let's see. Yeah, he did have 5 turnovers, 5 assists. I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better. But yeah, the fouls, because I believe he allowed Castle to get into his feelings. He allowed to get in his feelings about all the non-calls he was getting. So therefore, he was trying to play fire with fire. But Brunson knows better that he is one of the cogs that make us go. Also, just like you said, Cat played bad, but Cat played bad because he was put in bad positions. Karl Anthony Towns, from game 1 and game 2, when he got that ball at the top of the key, when he got that ball on the free throw on the 3-point line, he didn't hesitate. He was aggressive. When he allowed them to have Dylan Harper play him, Vassell play him, Castle play him, he got the advantage down low, and that allowed Wemby to roam around and really mucked up our offense. But that's what I say is a combination of the two. Brunson had the ball in his hands too much, and the bad decision of, okay, once he saw the mismatch, you give that ball to Cat and let Cat go. Let Cat eat. But at the same time, Cat had to be more aggressive than he was. The refs, man, listen. Everybody knows, and I'm not trying to having a tin hat on, but everybody knows that the NBA in particular, they need ratings, right? You got the biggest market versus the new face of the league. You can't have this series go 4 games. You can't have this series go 5 games. You can't have this series be in and out. Bridges, Bridges didn't have it because he wasn't able to get into a flow. That's why I'm saying Clarkson should have actually got a little bit more burn. Alvarado, you gotta tip your hat off to Alvarado. Because Alvarado, when he came in, especially when he came in and spelled Brunson when Brunson picked up that 4th foul, and even early in the half, Alvarado shows no fear. OG Anunoby is, to me, the MVP of this game, even though it's a loss. But also, OG, his efficiency, and for us not to, or for the rest of the team not to recognize that OG was on one and not feed him more and more or create plays or call plays for him. When OG is shooting the way he was shooting, when OG is driving the way he's driving, you have to feature him. Think of it this way. OG Anunoby had 28 points on 13 shots in 37 minutes. I'm looking at the box score right now. 7 of 9 from the foul line. Right? Now imagine that means he's getting the ball without having a play call for him. Alvarado was taking it to him, taking it to Wemby. Every time Wemby was doing some BS, he went up to Wemby like, yo, what's good? What's good? Yo, you don't know you in the town? You don't know you in the town? Listen. That's the type of attitude we need. That's the type of attitude that we got to bring in the game 4. Like, I personally said that the Knicks it was going to be Knicks in 6, right? Now, of course, we swept Philly, we swept Cleveland. Okay, we went up 0-2. We went up 2-0. I did not think this was going to be a sweep, right? I did not think it was going to be a sweep. A lot of people see the thing is, I've been a Knicks fan since the 80s, since prior to Patrick Ewing being on the Knicks, right? And that's not tooting my horn too, but it is what it is. So I've been throughout all the heartbreak, all the almost, the 2 for 19 from John Starks, the LJ 4-point play, the whole 9. The 17-win season, Porzingis supposed to be the new golden boy. Danilo Gallinari supposed to be the new golden boy. We had Chris Duhon getting triple doubles. Like, I've been a Knicks fan for that long, and I also know that this run that we're on, this historic run that we're on, is an anomaly. This is not the way it's supposed to be. I'm glad that it is, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be like this. So, Knicks in 6 to me, right? When we won the first 2 games, I'm like, you know what? Might be Knicks in 5. But I knew we wasn't going to sweep them. Right? So, personally, this is how I feel the rest of the series is going to go out, right? Game 4 on Wednesday, we're going to lick our wounds. We're going to come back. Maybe the pressure will be off because now it's the second finals game in the last 27 years instead of the first. Whatever bad juju Mr. Orange Man is bringing into MSG, hopefully that'll dissipate, and we get back to playing Knicks basketball, right? Hopefully we'll get some at least evenness on. You need to be more zesty on defense. Brandon 5177. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, the Trump curse is real. So I don't believe in curses, but I hear what you're saying. So I feel like Wednesday is going to be nip and tuck. I think we're going to get one on Wednesday, right? Then we're going to go back to San Antonio on Saturday. Now, I personally believe it's in our best interest if we win on Wednesday, go down to San Antonio and clinch it down there. Yeah, I know the homer in me be like, yo, no, you got to bring it back to the town. Yo, we got to celebrate and everything. Listen, if we win, we're going to celebrate regardless. We don't need them in the garden to celebrate. Tell you the truth, it's probably better if they not in the guard. That means a lot of things ain't concentrated. That means you could just do you, right? But I would say this. So all my Knicks faithful out there, especially our bros in Brooklyn, especially our bros in the city, be easy. I'll say it once and I'm going to say it every time I come on live. Don't let nobody trick you out your freedom out here at all. Listen, it's always New York Knicks. It's always orange and blue sky, but don't allow anybody to trick you out your freedom out here. It's all good. Listen, you drink, go ahead, drink. You toot, go ahead, toot. Do you, but make sure that you get home at the end of the night safe and sound and don't end up locked up because I'm telling you, they itching. They waiting for a reason to do what they want to do in New York. That's all I have to say. Right? Yeah, exactly. You know, you see the little social media clips, how even if you're standing on top of a garbage can, you know, they out and about trying to have you in. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. Young and old. But that brings me to my point what I was saying. I'm of a certain age. I'll be 50 in August. So I'm of a certain age. I know we wasn't going to win in 5. We wasn't going to win in 4. Knicks in 6. It's going to be similar to how it was in Boston. Remember last year? We won in Boston. We won the first 2. We lost game 3. We won game 4. We went back to Boston. All right, nip and tuck. They came back, and then we clinched it at home. I really think that's probably how it's going to be. But just to be on the safe side, I think the pressure would be less if they go down to San Antonio with a chance to close it out, and you don't have to worry about all the celebrities up here. You know, our Ben Stiller gonna ride, Fat Joe and Jada gonna ride. You know, the whole 9. You know, that's how I feel it's gonna be. Personally, I don't particularly like everybody trying to hop on the wave. Me personally, I really don't. Because where were these mother effers when we were scrapping? Where was all these Knicks songs when we were scrapping and scrounging? Yeah, exactly. I go deaf on up. Yeah, okay. Listen, Remy, don't try to throw your shots right now on the Knicks wave. Because if you didn't jump on this remix with French and Max, would you be throwing shots? But anyway. Where was Cat? Yeah, that's a good question. That was good question. Where was Bridges? Bridges was on the fence. Bridges was on the bench for 5 fouls. Spurs in 7. Nah. You listen. I can't rock with that. I can't go side with that. I'm sorry. You see what I am like. Listen, to each his own. Salute to you. I appreciate you joining in, but yeah, Spurs in 7. Nah, I ain't jacking that. I ain't jacking that. Mr. PlayStation the Gamer. Cat seems like he's afraid of the moment. If the Knicks lose game 4, Spurs got home court. Is he afraid of the moment? Nah, I don't think he's afraid of the moment. Because the reason why I'll give Cat the benefit of the doubt, because if he was afraid of the moment, he would have been cheeks from game 1 on. He's not going to wait until game 3 come home and be cheeks. It was a combination of a whole bunch of things. Karl Anthony Towns, I'm watching it right now. Karl Anthony Towns had 11 points. His fewest scored in the last 8 games. But not only the fewest score points they had in the last 8 games, the fewest touches. He wasn't an integral part of the defense. Of the game. Mr. GOAT 1996. My hot take, the Spurs are not winning another game in the series against the Knicks. All right. That's what I'm talking about. I don't believe in being afraid of the moment. Benjamin Franklin. I don't believe being afraid of the moment. It's hoop. You play bad, you play good. Exactly. It's a make-or-miss league. That's what it boils down to. It's a make-or-miss league. Now, Brunson was, 11-31 in game 1. But yeah, he made his points where it counted. Right? This game, he was 11-25. Just didn't do it. The Knicks are trash. Spurs in 7. Look, listen, we ain't talking about LeBron. Listen, get him out of here. Yo, moderator, get him out of here. Brunson does his things in the clutch. That's why he's clutch player. See, what you said earlier about the ESPN takes is so apropos because it's almost like to me it seems like the media has been trying to build us up to knock us down, right? So for them to say, "Oh, they missed a crucial," how did we miss a crucial opportunity? Did anybody before this series think that we were going to be up 2-0? I mean, we were the big underdog in this series, weren't we? We were the big underdog in this series. I think we was plus 300 to win the series. Cat was plus 2,000 to be NBA Finals MVP. And tell you the truth, for the first 2 games, he was the MVP of the series. Right? Wemby, to me, personally, 32 points, 11 to 18, 2 from 4 from 3, right? Personally, he was a quiet 32 points. Did he have an impact? Do you know who I believe actually had the biggest impact of this game? Stephon Castle, because he shot that 3 out his behind. That was a luck 3. That was a prayer. Oh, like a prayer, I will send you there. It's like a dream. It's a mystery. Number 1, but Dylan Harper. I've said this in the past, and I will continue saying this until, if you look at the box score, 5 of 18, 32 minutes, 13 points. You look at the box score. Okay. There's no basketball reason for Spurs fans. They just say Wemby once and more, the Knicks are a better team. Yes. Yeah. But it goes back to what Shaq always says, the others. It always comes down to the others, right? In this game, they had six players in double figures. Fox had 12, he's garbage. Castle had 23, okay. Vassell, 3 or 4 from 3, okay. Champagny, 12 points, okay. But Harper, to me, is going to be what Brunson is for us in a very few years. Everybody thinks it's going to be Wemby and Castle. No, it's going to be Wemby and Harper. Harper comes in with the steadiness, with the poise of a veteran. Harper comes in and he's cold-blooded because he has that NBA blood in him. Exactly. Harper is their best player so far. And tell you the truth, from what I've seen, Harper is their second best player, right? If you take Harper out, Harper is what actually allowed them to get into their offense. Personally, to me, Castle want to be on some Debo stuff. Yeah, Harper acts like he's been here. Harper, the moment is not too big for Harper. And even though he was 5 of 18, those 32 minutes when he was on the court, I guarantee you. Oh, shockingly, he was a -8. But I don't believe. You know what? Sometimes I don't believe those plus minuses because Johnson was straight trash and he was a plus 14. He just happened to be on the court when we went cold. Castle good, but yeah, exactly. That's why I say Harper is the key. If we lost by 4 based on the score, tell you the truth, you could say we probably lost by more because those 2 threes at the end made it more respectable. Kept the pressure on them until the final buzzer. But if we keep Harper in check, or more importantly, we keep Harper on the bench, That allows us to play our defense the way we supposed to be. Exactly. Plus mine, yeah, exactly. It was about the eye test. Harper, especially that I think that one time he came in and yammed it. All his points came in clutch times for the Spurs, either to extend their run or to stave off the Knicks. And Scampennies, listen, he's gonna hit his threes, but that he's a one note dude. He's a one hit wonder. If he's not hitting the threes, he's garbage. My daughter. All right, listen. I'll take y'all behind the curtain. Right, my youngest daughter. She's 19. Now she's not really versed in basketball, but she figured I'm gonna watch basketball with my pops. She didn't realize that it was the best of 7. Right, so when the game was over and they lost, she's looking at me and she want to know why I'm so calm. And she's like, "Why are you so calm, Dad?" I'm like, "Listen, all right, listen. We won 13 in a row. Do I really believe we were going to win 15 in a row to a championship? No. Every champion has to go through adversity. This is our first loss in over 45 days. This is our first loss since the end of April. For us not to have our team, this collection of players, it's a type of players that we need adversity. The adversity that we experienced in the first round allowed us to get our stuff together and say, look, this is how we need to play. No time for any experiments. This is how we need to play. Right? And we ran off 13 in a row. This game right here tells everybody in that locker room that, okay, game 1, we won, but we had to come back and close in the closing seconds. Game 2, we held on and we won. Game 3, it wasn't good enough. What was good enough in game 1 and game 2 wasn't good enough in game 3. Game 4, we have to handle our business. We cannot allow this series to be tied 2-2. Because you know what this brings back memories of also? It brings back memories of Julian Champ. Reminds me of J.R. Smith. Yeah, exactly. He hits a few big shots, but that's it. I'll take it one further. He hits shots that changes the ebb and flow of the game at the time that he hits shots. But if you pay attention to him, unlike J.R. Smith, if you pay attention to him and just take him out, done. I forgot what I was about to say. But neither here nor there. Wembanyama, what allows us to go into game 4 is you can look at the tape and say, you know what? This was wrong. They have to concentrate on their defensive adjustments. The offense will feed off their defense. It's almost like they tried to get too cute early in the game. Multiple times, Wise Towns up, pressing the ball handler and not stuck to the hip of Wemby. Allow Wemby to get off, opened everything up. And that just was a snowball effect. Because if the rest of the Spurs see their main player, their best player getting off, that feeds the confidence. That gives them more confidence, more and more confidence. We lost this game on the defensive side. We lost this game on the defensive end. Without us playing staunch defense like we had played in the first two games, even during that run in the second quarter, our defense was okay because the energy was up. But the schematics of the defense was still off. We're allowing them to push us all over the place. Mitch Robb, I think, probably should have gotten more burn in this game. But because we were down early, we couldn't afford to be in the penalty and have Mitch Robb in the game. Also, when we went small in the second quarter, that fueled our comeback. But it also, with that one trump card of like, darn. You didn't want to play that trump card, but they played it. Exactly. We was rotating too much. Little DJ players, yeah. Salute. Appreciate you. Go Spurs, eh? And listen, I appreciate y'all. Benjamin, I seen y'all leave Julian to go. They were okay. The way our defense is schemed to go, right? Because our two defensive liabilities are Cat and Brunson. No matter how much they improved this season, they're still our defensive liabilities, right? So the way Brown is formulated this defense is there's going to be any open shot is going to be in the corner, right? So you can't allow a set shooter or a knockdown shooter to be the free one in the corner. No matter how much you scramble, once you have them scrambling, you can't allow that man to be free open in the corner. You can't. Nah. See, that's where we gotta. That's where I go a little bit too far. What do you mean Brunson like SGA flopping right now? Flop. Brunson. Did y'all not see how many times Brunson was getting the business, getting pushed down, getting knocked in the head? Like, the reason why I believe Brunson don't get the benefit of the benefit of the calls, the benefit of doubt with the calls, is because he makes the majority of these shots that he has no business making. Brunson's getting that Lou Dort on Luka treatment. Nah, but think about it this way. If Brunson got as many foul calls as everybody thinks that he gets, if Brunson got the Luka whistle, if Brunson got the SGA whistle, if Brunson got the prime Jordan whistle, Brunson be averaging 40 a game. Now, back, I want to say 2 years ago, was Brunson, baiting fouls? Yes, he was. But he was never really flopping. His thing was more of an aggressive harden in which he got into you, created the contact, and was able to finish. He's not one of those that you touch him and he's flying against the wind like invincible. Nah. But what it boils down to is this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna bring this up to y'all because y'all rocking with me. I appreciate y'all. So I'm gonna leave it up to y'all. Right? I'll answer them. My opinions, my thoughts, my salty thoughts. If the Knicks win, who do y'all have winning game 4? And no matter who you got winning game 4, who's going to be the catalyst for them to win? So if you want the Spurs to win, you think the Spurs gonna win? Then then you tell me why the Spurs are gonna win. If you think the Knicks are gonna win, then you tell me why the Knicks are gonna win. Right? So that's how we do it. And listen, I hear what you're saying about the dude spamming. Just ignore him. I'll work on that going forward because this dude is, Yeah, yo, Jim or whatever, stop spamming. Knicks lose because of the flopping. Flopping by who? Flopping by who? Flopping by the Spurs and they getting us in the limit, or flopping by talking about we flopping and trying to concern ourselves with getting the whistle. Knicks losing this series because they're gonna choke. Yeah, that's easy to say, but nah, I want something more substantive of that. OG gonna lead the race. So Nick P29 saying, yo, the Knicks gonna win because OG gonna handle his business like he handled his business this time. Knicks game 4, Cat gonna play better, and I think Jalen will have a great performance. It's overdue for Jalen to have a great performance. You know, so that's a good call. Kevin Carter. Brunson's your only dog, everyone else is soft. I can't rock with that. I can't rock with that. At times in the past 4 years, I would say yeah. Okay, I got that. But I can't rock with that right now. You know, everybody that's been a part of this run has showed they had a little bit of dog in them. Because if not, we not running off 13 in a row. If we don't have that dog in us. Hot Wangy. Spurs in 6. He a ninja. I really do think Kelly will step up from the Spurs. Who? Kelly Olynyk? I know you're not talking about Kelly Olynyk. Or you talking about Kelly Johnson. Which guy? Am I feeling nervous right now? Nah. Listen. I'm a Knicks fan. I've been a Knicks fan for over 40 years. I've been a Jets fan for almost 40 years. I've been a Mets fan for almost 40 years. Over 40 years. You have to feel nervous when you're used to winning stuff and it's going to be taken away. I ain't used to winning nothing. So what am I being nervous about? Oh, so if the Knicks mess around and don't win the championship, I'm going to be crying in my cereal. I'm going to be crying in my oatmeal. Talking about, oh, woe is me. Listen, they haven't won a championship in my 49 years being on this earth. So nah, I ain't nervous. Brunson won an Oscar tonight. F out of here. Yeah, all right. Listen, yo, bro. Stop spamming regardless. Sorry. Listen, stop spamming. Or get the hell off my chat. Listen, this is the inclusive chat. Everybody able to rock, but listen, if you're not adding nothing to it, yo, just get up out of here. OG was everything for y'all. This game 1 flop for. Listen. Scam pennies? That's what I call Champagne. Scam pennies? Listen. When he's still living off of dropping 40 on New Year's Eve. Right? He's still mad because when he was in St. John's, he couldn't play for the hometown. He couldn't play for the town. We sent him down to San Antonio. He went down to San Antonio, so every time he comes to New York, he trying to get some relevance. Yeah. Exactly. If you don't think OG and Hart are dogs, man, listen. Like I said, with OG tonight, OG had 28 points on 13 shots. Without OG, we're getting blown out. Straight up. Exactly. Keldon Johnson is a bum. He is Basuda. Nah, it's all good. Listen, I listen. It's just my fate. My Knicks, my Jets, my Mets. It is what it is. Listen, even though this is a basketball thing, I'll tell you real quick. When I was little, when I was 6, right? This is how I became a Jets fan. When I was 6, this is before remote controls. So we had to actually turn the channel, right? Turn the dial, right? So in my mom's room, that was where the color TV was. So I was only tall enough to turn the TV on. So on Sunday, I ran in there to watch TV. So I turned the TV on. It happened to be on Channel 4, NBC. The AFC used to come on NBC. Guess who used to play on NBC? The AFC. Guess who was on the AFC in New York? The Jets. That's how I became a Jets fan. If it was on Channel 2 back in the days, I would have been a Giants fan. Simple as that. And then just so happened the Jets actually made the conference championship that year, and I thought everything was good. Victor need to bleep. Man, whatever. Robert the Great One. Everybody knows the Rockets should have been here. Listen. When Y'all get out the first round, come holler at me. Giannis wants to play in New York. But nah, we don't need Giannis. We do not need Giannis. We don't need Giannis in his half a Achilles about to pop off. We don't need that. No, listen, are you joking? Ain't too late to play. All right, peace. Yeah. Ain't too late to trade for KD. I guarantee you, KD probably crying, talking about, yo, something told me I shouldn't listen to that nigga Kyrie. Yo, I should have just went to the Knicks. I'm so glad we didn't get him. Remember how everybody was riding the Nets? Remember how everybody was riding the Nets? And they never made out the second round. Meanwhile, we were the little engine that could. And guess what? We're 2 games from the championship. Wemby is an AI Kareem. Y'all done. You really think? Okay. What are y'all true feelings about Wemby? Do y'all believe Wemby's that dude? Or do y'all believe Wemby's that dude because the media tells you Wemby's that dude? Think about it. He's 7'5", right? Granted. But he's a tall man. He's not a big man. Wemby, the difference between Wemby and Kareem got his butt down in the post. Kareem, that skyhook, even at 38 years old, he was putting people to sleep with the skyhook. Wemby wants to act like he's KD at 7'5". When Wemby learns how to keep his tall behind in the paint, holla at me. Has he been scared? You know what? I'll give him credit. I don't believe that Wemby been scared. I believe that Wemby thought it was one way and ended up being another. I believe Wemby thought that them beating OKC, this was going to be a step down in competition instead of a step up. I believe he thought he was going to have Cat for lunch, and Cat told him, nah. Okay, Benjamin, I believe he can be. But he has no true point guard that can get him the ball in good position. Yes, Spur coach said, we don't have anyone to throw him lob because they can't pass well enough. Now, the thing about that is so true. Because if you think about it, if you remember, last year when he took his leap, because this is the 3rd year, right? Last year when he took his leap, and when he became more consistent, when he became more dominant, who was one of the point guards on that team? Chris Paul. Chris Paul allowed Wemby to get every bit of advice of where to set up, how to make yourself available, how to show better, how to position yourself in the post, how to get yourself into prime position. De'Aaron Fox is not a prototypical point guard. De'Aaron Fox is more of an undersized shooting guard, an undersized scoring guard that's just real fast. He is not going to set up an offense. That's why I said previously that Dylan Harper is going to be the guy. It's going to be him and Wemby. Chris Paul is washed. That's why I retired. Listen, I'm not saying that Chris Paul was the Chris Paul from the Clippers, even the Chris Paul from Houston. Listen, if you really want to do the knowledge, Chris Paul went to OKC for that 1 year during the pandemic, right? Got them to the playoffs, got them that crucial experience, and OKC been out of here since. Because he put everybody in the position of where they needed to be. Exactly. Great bigs in the NBA are play finishers, not play initiators. Exactly. Shaq could handle the ball when he was younger. Shaq could lead a fast break when he was younger. But Shaq did not get to that next level until Penny came along, right? I'll do one better. Shaq did not get to that next level until Brian Shaw came, played the point, and allowed Penny to be the shooting guard slash point forward. There's levels to this. Like, case in point, in this 12-game, 13-game run, Jalen Brunson is not a prototypical. He's not a prototypical point guard. Jalen Brunson is a point guard in title only, right? So when they started literally running the offense through Cat and making Cat the facilitator, that's what unlocked the offense. Jalen Brunson pounding the rock. He has a Mamba mentality. His mentality is to go. If he smelled blood in the water, he's gonna go. I seen D Fox. Exactly. He don't know how to set up his big man. De'Aaron Fox does not know how to set up his big man. Okay. JAQ28 loves it when the so-called big market teams lose to the small market teams. Okay. So who did they love last year when it was OKC and Indiana? I don't believe there was a big market between the two. I know who didn't love the fact that there was two small market teams in the finals, the NBA. You know, they need the big market team to be the draw, but for the story, they need the small market team to overcome. Hence, the foul discrepancy. De'Aaron Fox is too small and fast. He can't hold the ball and shoot straight. And I agree. That's why Brunson is a bad matchup for him. I mean, Brunson, it's a bad matchup for Brunson due to the speed advantage. But if Brunson, that's why they put Bridges and OG on De'Aaron Fox to keep him out the paint. If he's out the paint, he is no good. He's not a facilitator, and he's not gonna knock down a three. Right? So Benjamin. Jalen Brunson is actually good at feeding bigs when he tries. Like game 2, he got Cat involved. And that was the key. This game is like, it's almost like that fast start that he got off was a detriment to him because he's like, okay, I got some room. It might be my night. There's a lot of things they have to adjust going forward. I'm not gonna lose the faith. Brunson don't miss. He's crazy clutch. Nothing but net Brunson. Yes. Like, did you see that one where he came in and laid it up and it was like on 3 people? And it was like, how did he get that? And I don't even think he got the M1. Yo, salute. I like how you. Oh yeah, but Spurs go Spurs go. I like that. But yeah. Listen, I'm which squad? Yo, this is crazy. Shoot, I'm not gonna keep on babbling. So I'm gonna get out of here because it's 1:20. I appreciate each and every one of y'all to come out. Okay, a couple more. Benjamin, who is a point guard in the league that you think can feed Wemby right now, or is it simply letting Dylan Harper develop? That's a good question. I'm always biased to letting the people that you drafted and you develop rock, and I believe that Dylan Harper, it'll probably be best going forward if they let Dylan Harper rock. Because I don't believe there's any quote unquote top tier point guards in the league that's going to be available for them to come. And do you really want to give up assets to get somebody else's cast off when you got potential people on your roster? They just gotta reform the roles of the roster that they have. So I personally believe letting Dylan Harper develop, letting Dylan Harper cook, I think that's best for them. Benjamin, yo, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Listen, have a good night. Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Nice back and forth. Listen, normally I ain't gonna lie. Normally I don't do post game because a lot of times I'm at my job. I don't get off until midnight. So a lot of times I'll be watching the game while I'm at work. And did I say that? Yeah, I'll be watching the game while I'm at work. So usually I wait into the afternoon, and I usually drop maybe about 3:30 in the afternoon. Listen, you know how I be. You know how I be. Listen, why not get paid? Why not get paid to watch the game? If you can get away with it, why not? Right? Listen, I got 20. I'm going on 23 years in my job. I'm going to do my thing. You know, long as the job get done, they can't really beef. So for those who just subscribe, I appreciate y'all. Please check out whatever's on my page. At Mike Steph. I don't really like promoting, but I guess that's the field that I'm in when I do this. So, you know, check out my podcast, because I drop a podcast weekly. Football, basketball, not really baseball. I might talk some baseball stuff after basketball is over. But I'm gonna be rocking with these Knicks. I'm gonna be rocking with basketball content until the season wrap up. So yeah, and the streaming, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not usually a streamer. I usually just I'll make a video and drop it, but the interaction I'm getting with y'all, you know, and building this little community, I appreciate that. I really do. You know, yeah. I'll just keep it real. I'll keep it as I'll keep it as buck as possible. You know, so feel free. Y'all could. Darn, I hate doing this, but Instagram at Mike_Steph. It's my Instagram. Y'all could DM or or just put a comment in the stream. Put a comment on everything, and I'm just trying to do the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, listen, we could go on all the other sites. Listen, I go on other sites too. You know, but it's something funny. And matter of fact, it's something different. It's something more. I have a lot of gratitude when I'm able to just chop it up with everybody. Even people that said the Knicks are trash, son. Listen, you're entitled to your opinion. Listen, everybody entitled to your opinion. But I'm letting y'all know, for all the trolls that might be in the comment section, I'm not giving y'all the time of day, but sometimes I do have time. But if the real people outnumber the trolls, then I act like y'all don't exist. I go blind of a I go deaf for the anyway. But yeah. So game 4 is Wednesday. So please press that notification button. I'll probably drop Thursday afternoon. And if not, hopefully y'all holler at me whenever y'all have a chance to holler at me. Or watch the replay. Listen, I respond to everybody. So, Brooklyn. Yeah, that's right. Listen, I'm getting out of here. Goodbye. Oh, darn. I act like I was on the laptop. I forgot I was on the phone. But once again, little DJ players, what up? Thank you. Benjamin, appreciate you, bro. Everybody in the chat that was chopping it up, appreciate y'all. Yeah, I'm out. It's been an hour. Shoot, I got some Philly love to eat. Goodbye.